cavalcade of sports is on the air. Gillette presents the World Series. And this is Red Robber saying good afternoon for the Gillette Safety Razor Company, which airs the Kentucky Derby, football, bowl games, major boxing contests, and similar events of national interest, airs them for you all the way through the sports calendar. And I hardly need to say that today's game is the third in the series between the New York Yankees and the St. Louis Cardinals. And, of course, Bob Elson and Bill Corum are on hand here in the broadcasting booth at Yankee Stadium to help give you the complete, accurate story of every play. At the moment, Hank Borowy, the slender right-hander, and Alpha Brazle, the even slenderer left-hander, just had their pictures taken, and as you can gather, they're to be today's starting pitchers. The batting orders, the St. Louis Cardinals, for this final game at the stadium, have their same hitting order the first 8 spots. That means Klein leading off at second base, Harry Walker in center field, Sven Musial in right. Walker Cooper is catching. His brother Mort, of course, left last evening to return home on a very sad journey, which you're all familiar with. The two Cooper boys lost their father early yesterday morning. Karowski at third base, Sanders at first, Litwhiler in left, Slats Marion, the great shortstop, and then Al Brazle, the starting pitcher, B-R-A-Z-L-E. For the Yankees, they're going back to the lineup that they had the opening game when Billy Southworth fired a southpaw at them. That means Steinbach leading off in right, Frank Rossetti at shortstop, Bill Johnston at third, Charlie Keller. Boy, did he hit one yesterday out toward left center field. Keller in left. Then comes Gordon at second, Bill Dickey catching, Nick Etten at first. Johnny Lindell goes back to center field and is hitting eighth, and Hank Borowy is to be the pitcher. The rotation of the umpires, Rue of the American League behind the plate, of the National at first, Rommel of the American at second, Reardon of the National at third. The umpiring alternates, Tipgrass of the American League, and Conlon of the National. We're expecting now, momentarily, the national anthem from the band which is massed out in deep center field, just in front of the flagstaff. The infield has been raked, very smoothly cared for by the groundkeepers. The umpires have scattered to their 4 positions. The 2 starting pitchers, Borowy for the Yankees and Brazle for the Cardinals, have ceased firing and have returned along with the rest of their teammates to their respective dugouts. The Cardinals using the one on the first base side, the Yankees using the one, as they always do, on the third base side. And now, the national anthem. The Yankees cut out onto the playing field. We pause briefly for station identification. This is News.
This is WGN, the voice of the people, Chicago.
The sponsors of our broadcast were most eager this 1943 World Series to have a serviceman on the broadcast, and we are delighted, honored, and very pleased to have back again Bob Elson, who is now Lieutenant Bob Elson of the United States Naval Reserve. Bob, Borowy is standing there on the mound. Bill Dickey is beginning to warm him up. The Yankees are afield. The Cardinals are soon going to be batting. There are millions and millions all over the world who want to know what's going to happen, and I couldn't put them in better hands than yours. Come in.
Thank you very much, Red. Good afternoon, fans. This is another wonderful sight here at Yankee Stadium as we await the opening pitch of the number 3 game of the World Series, and perhaps you wouldn't be able to find, if you tried to put your finger on it, a more crucial spot for both teams than this. Here's Borowy out there on the mound, a tall right-hander. who this year has won 14 games and lost 9. This is a lad of 25 years of age. From July the 11th to September the 15th, he won 9 and lost 1. And he's opposing a little left-hander by the name of Brazle, who won 8 and lost 2. The first man to bat for St. Louis will be Klein. Quickly, here's the batting order again. For St. Louis, Klein second, Walker center, Musial right, Cooper catching, Karofsky third, Sanders first, Litwhiler left, Marion short, and Brazle pitching. For New York, Steinbach in center field, Krist short, Johnston third, Keller left, Gordon second, Dickey catching, Etten first, Lindell in center, and Lindell in right, and Steinbach in center, and Borowy is doing the pitching. This fellow's a big right-hander, a tall boy with a great fastball and a very sharp curve and a cute changeup, while Brazle features a sinker ball, a sinker pitch that he throws practically 4 out of 5 times. For a left-hander, this Alpha Brazle has remarkable control. He's a sturdy little guy, built along the lines of Max Lanier, and he can really propel that baseball with considerable skill. This ought to be a wonderful ball game today, and we hope that you have your chairs right up around your radio, all set to enjoy every play. Now here is Lou Klein, playing second base for St. Louis in his gray uniform, stepping into the batter's box. So far, he's had 2 for 8 in the series. He bats right-handed. And here comes the first pitch of the third game of the 43 series. It's a ball. It's inside and high, up around his shoulders. The outfield is playing straight away. Steinbach is in center field today. Lindell is over there in right, and to our left is Charlie Keller. Borowy gets his sign. Here's the next pitch, and Klein takes a swing and misses a curveball right up around the shoulders, and the count is evened up at 1-1. Billy Southworth is coaching to our left at third, and off to our right is Mike Gonzalez. The crowd again is right jammed. This place is jam-packed. Here's the next pitch to Klein. Klein swings a low fly ball to center. Steinbach coming fast. He grabbed it, and there's 1 out. Klein hit a low fly ball into center field. Steinbach moved in fast for the ball and caught it with ease for the first out. So there is now 1 gone. Yankees on the field in their white uniforms as we look right out of our mutual booth here, right down below us. There's Johnston at third, Krist at short, Gordon at second, and there's big Nick Etten at first. And right below us here is the next batter to step up for St. Louis. It's the center fielder, Harry Walker, who has 1 for 9, 1 hit in 9 tries for the series. He bats left-handed, and here's the first pitch. It's very high, over his head for ball 1. Borowy started the 4th game of the World Series last year against Morton Cooper. The Cardinals won it 9-6. But Borowy, although he was hit pretty hard in the series, was not charged with the defeat. That went to Donald. They used 3 pitchers, Borowy, Donald, and Bonham. Here comes the next one. It's a beautiful pitch right down the middle, and it's a called strike. Ball 1, strike 1 for Harry Walker, the Redbird center fielder. 1 out, nobody on. 3rd game of the World Series. Big Hank Borowy is getting his sign again. Here comes the next pitch to Walker. Walker swings. There's a hit. Right over the third baseman's head down the left field line. Maybe an extra base hit. He takes the turn. He's going to second, and he goes in, sliding, and he's safe at second. It's a double. There is the first hit of the ball game. First hit of the ball game, and the second hit in 10 tries for Walker. And here with 1 out in the first inning at New York, the Cardinals have a man in the scoring position, and here is Stan Musial up, baseball's leading hitter this year, who has 2 for 8 in the series. Borowy is getting his sign, man on second base. Here's the pitch to Musial, and it's a ball, low that time. It looked like he had threw a bit of a sinker. That ball really dropped, and it's ball 1. That hit of Walker's was a beauty. It was a liner right over the third baseman's head that dropped in left field, rolled along the foul line, and Charlie Keller had to race over to the line to pick it up. And on second, here comes the pitch. Musial takes one. It's low for a ball. It's ball 2. Bill Dickey walks out in front of the plate and says something to Borowy and then throws him the ball. The Yankee outfield playing the batter straight away. Steinbach center, Keller left, and Lindell is playing right. Bud Matheny is not playing today. Out there in Tommy Henrich's old spot. Pitcher's all set. Man on second. It's a ball 2 count on Musial. This fellow's plenty dangerous. There is a ball. He missed the corner, shoulder high. Borowy working very cautiously, as well he might, against the fellow of Musial's reputation, really a great hitter. And he has worked the count to 3-0. 3 balls, no strikes. Man on second. 2-base hit for Harry Walker, the first hit of the ball game. 1 out. Here comes the next pitch, and he takes a perfect strike. It's right down the middle. Right in there, bullseye, and it's 3-1. Now Borowy steps back off the rubber, picks up the rosin bag, dries his hands, takes a look around. Harry Walker at second base is content with a very short lead off a second. It's a ball 3, strike 1 count, and here it is, and it's ball 4, inside and high, and it's a base on ball. Man on first and a man on second for St. Louis with 1 out. Catcher Walker Cooper. He gets a nice hand from the crowd. Walker Cooper, the catcher, who has had 2 for 7 in the series, receives a nice hand from the crowd as he stepped into the batter's box. This great crowd we had out here yesterday didn't know the burden under which the Cooper boys were playing, but today they know it. Man on first, a man on second. Cooper up in there, a right-handed batter. And the first pitch caught the corner. A nice pitch right around his knees for a called strike. A sharp curve. This fellow possesses a beautiful curve ball and a good fast one, and the fastball is plenty sneaky. It's up in on top of you before you know it. Man on first, a man on second for St. Louis. Walker on second as the long lead off. Here's the next pitch, and there's a bouncing ball to the shortstop. In fast over to second, out, back over to first. He is out. It's a double play. That ended the first threat of the ball game. Walker Cooper hit sharply to Frankie Kristetti. Kristetti was going toward second when he picked the ball up. He flipped that ball to Gordon. Gordon turned and fired that ball over to Etten at first base. It was a double play, retiring the side. And so in the first half of the first inning, there were no runs, 1 hit, and 1 walk. And now St. Louis is going onto the field for the Yankee half of the first inning. And as we look out of our mutual booth out onto the field, we see Litwhiler going into center field. There's Harry Walker, who was a base runner after a hit that time, going into center field. He has his back to the infield right now. And there go a troop of Cardinals toward that bullpen in right field. The Yankee boys are already out in their bullpen. Musial is all set in right field for St. Louis. And now around this St. Louis infield, there's Koroski at third, Martin Marion at short, Lou Klein at second, Ray Sanders at first. The catcher is Walker Cooper, and the pitcher is the left-hander, Alpha Brazle. Brazle stands about 5 feet 10 and a half. Looks like all these left-handers of the Cardinals are about the same size. White, Lanier, and Brazle. Keene is a little bit taller. The first man to come up is going to be Tuck Stainback, the center fielder of the Yankees, who has 1 for 7 in the series. Stainback drove a single in the left field in the first game, and he is the first Yankee to bat in the last half of the first. There is no score. The Cardinals threatened, but failed to cash in the first half of the first. Now Alpha Brazle is all ready. Here's the first pitch, and there is a drive into left field. It looks like a hit. It is a hit. It drops in front of Litwhiler. There's the throw to second. They may catch him now. He falls between first and second. He is back safely. Stainback took the turn at first base as though he was going to go to second. After going about 25 feet down the line, he slipped and fell down. The throw came into second base, Litwhiler to Marion. Marion turned and fired that ball quickly to Sanders, but Stainback, with a quick recovery and slide, got back into first base safely. So it is a base hit. Here's the Yankee shortstop, Frankie Kristetti. He has 3 hits and 8 tries for the series. Stainback hit the first ball pitch by Brazle for a hit down the left field line. It was a low fly ball that Litwhiler could not get to. Man on first base. Here's the first pitch, and there's a bunt out in front of the plate. Brazle picks it up. The play is to first. The Cardinals were slow covering at both stations that time, and it looked from here as though they were lucky to get anybody. Brazle turned around to throw to second base, and the Marion was slow coming over to second. He had to play a second. So he then turned, and then Klein was slow getting over to first base. He had to fire it anyway, and he just did get him at first. So there's a man on second base in scoring position for New York with 1 gone. Set it a sacrifice to Kristetti. Man on second, and here is the right-hand hitter, Bill Johnston, the leading hitter so far in the series, with 4 hits in 8 tries. Really an outstanding young ball player. Here's the first pitch. It's a strike. He caught the corner with that sinker that time. Strike 1. Here is really one of the game's great young ball players. This Johnston, he's solid in every department. He can hit, he can field, he can run, he's got baseball sense, he is really good. Here's the pitch, and it's missed the corner that time, knee high for a ball. Both teams have a scoring opportunity here in the first inning at New York. The Cardinals had one, failed to cash in. Now the Yankees have one. Stainback, a very fast man on second base with one out. Alpha Brazle has allowed a hit here in the first inning, as did Borowy. There's a swing and a high bouncing ball to Mark Marion. The play is to third. He is out. He slid right into the ball. The play, Martin Marion to Karofsky at third, and Stainback is out at third as he attempted to move down to third base on that infield tap off the bat of Bill Johnston. So the picture now is the Yankees, Johnston on first base with two gone. Here's Charlie Keller, left fielder of the Yankees, one of the game's great natural hitters. He's had 2 for 8 so far in the series, and yesterday drove a terrific drive over Litwhiler's head in left field for one of the best hit balls in the series. Man on first base, here's the pitch, it's inside, and Charlie has to jump completely out of the batter's box to get away. Man on first for New York, 2 outs, last half of the first inning, no score. The number 3 game of the 43 World Series, and what a World Series it is. Today we have Borowy for New York and Brazle for St. Louis. Here's the pitch. There is a beautiful pitch right in around his knees. He keeps that sinker in low all the time, and that was a nice one for a strike. It's ball 1 and strike 1, and he has a lot of speed in that pitch. Base runner on first base is staying close to the bag. It's Johnston, who is on first. Sanders is almost standing on the bag. Here's the next pitch, and Keller swings and misses right in around his knees, and it's ball 1 and strike 2. This left-hander, Alpha Brazle, a good fastball and a beautiful sinker pitch, and just falls into space when it gets up close to the plate, and it's a very hard pitch to try to time. And on first base, a count of ball 1 and strike 2 on Keller. Last half of the first inning, there's 2 outs. Brazle's getting his sign. Here it comes. He struck him out. He went for a fast curve around his knees, and Charlie Keller went down on strike. The totals in the last half of the first inning, no runs and 1 hit, and that is the end of the first inning. Come in, Red.
Right, Bob. And it's a cinch that you fellows all want to make shaving easier and more refreshing. So tune your ears to this. Fans, there's just nothing to it. All you do is prepare your whiskers with Gillette Lavish shaving cream, and then slick them off clean as a whistle in double quick time with a Gillette Blue Blade. That's what we mean by shaving the all Gillette way. And I'm giving it to you straight. This is the quickest, easiest way by far. Why not go in for better-looking shaves and extra comfort, too? Ask your dealer for Gillette Lavish shaving cream and see for yourself what it does for you. So, friends, today's World Series is being broadcast to our troops overseas. Army regulations forbid mention of the sponsor's name. And for that reason, and to make this broadcast to our boys possible, Gillette gladly refrains from mentioning the company or its products at any time during the course of the game except between innings. And these brief commercials are deleted by the shortwave monitor. All right, Bob. Boys overseas are listening.
Now the ball game goes into the first half of the second, and here's Karofsky up, the Yankee third baseman, and there is a perfect strike. Couldn't have been any better if he'd have hung it in there. Right down the middle is the called strike on Karofsky. He has 1 for 7 in the series and 1 run batted in. Borowy on the mound. He's starting his windup again. Here's the next pitch, and Karofsky swings, and there is a high foul back of the plate. The catcher has a chance on this ball. Dickey is back. He caught it. Karofsky fouled that ball about 50 feet back of the plate. Dickey's mask went off. He moved right back in line with the plate, right back toward the stands, and caught that ball easily for the first out. 1 gone. Here's the first baseman, Ray Sanders. He has 3 for 7 in the series, and yesterday hit a long home run over Matheny's head. That's left-handed. Here's the first pitch. Sanders takes it. It's a strike, shoulder high, right over the plate. The ump says that was good. It's Joe Rue back at the plate today of the American League. Incidentally, these umpires are doing a splendid job. The American League, by the way, is making a 2-reel picture of all the games with sound, which they're going to send to all the camps overseas and in the United States when the series is over. There's a fast strike. It's right around his knees. The outfield is playing Sanders as a sharp hitter. They've all moved in just a few steps. There's a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Sanders went for a very fast curveball across the letters, and he went down swinging. He is out on strike. So that is a strikeout for Borowy. He's allowed a hit, given one walk, and has one strikeout. Now here's Danny Litwhiler. Litwhiler has gone 0 for 6 so far in the series, the right-hand batter. First pitch to him, there's a line foul into the stands to the right. It's one strike. Litwhiler smashed a liner past first base into the lower box seat, and it is one strike. Each side has made one hit. There are no runs as yet. Borowy for the Yankees, Alpha Brazle for St. Louis. Borowy starting his windup. Here's the next pitch. Litwhiler swings. There is a smash back of the pitcher. It rolls off to his left. He still may get him. The play. He's safe. He beat it out for a hit. A line smash right back at Borowy. Hit him right above the leg. It rolled off to the left between first and second. Borowy chased the ball himself, picked it up and fired it, but the play was beaten for a base hit. So it is the first hit in the series for Litwhiler, and now the umpires call time to see whether or not Borowy is okay. That is Litwhiler's first hit in the series. Bill Dickey is going out to talk to Borowy. Frankie Crissetti is in there around the mound talking to him. Big Hank is okay. Stands out there now, wiping his face, looking around the infield. By the way, Borowy in winning 14 and losing 9, won 9 and lost 1 from July the 11th to September 15th. This year he gave 72 walks and 111 strikeouts, which means he's a pretty good boy at firing over that third strike. Now here's Marty Marion up, a right-handed batter, and there's a high short fly ball to left field near the foul line. Keller coming fast. He reached over and made a beautiful backhand catch of the ball in foul territory to retire the side. Charlie Keller made a dazzling backhand catch of Marion's foul fly down the left field line to retire the side. The totals are no runs, one hit, and that is the end of the first half of the second.
As I told Hank Borowy this morning, you can put out as a sure thing that to produce a razor blade as uniformly fine as today's Gillette blue blade is an exacting operation requiring precision workmanship of the highest degree. In fact, it's impossible to manufacture a blade as sharp and durable without the technical know-how, skill, and specialized equipment found only at World Shaving Headquarters. So I'm just passing on the good news that today's Gillette blue blade gives the quickest, smoothest, and believe me, in every way, the best-looking shave any man ever had.
Well, this is Bob Elson talking to you again from Yankee Stadium. For those of you who might be tuning in late, here's a quick lineup again for you. St. Louis, Klein second, Walker center, Musial right, Cooper catching, Karofsky third, Sanders first, Litwhiler left, Marion short, and Brazle pitching. For New York, Stainback center, Crissetti short, Johnston third, Keller left, Gordon second, Dickey catching, Etten first, Lindell in right, and Borowy pitching. Each side has made, the Cardinals have made one hit, and the Cardinals have made 2 hits, and the Yankees have made 1. There's your recapitulation for those of you who are tuning in late. The first pitch to Gordon is right in there for a called strike. Nobody on and nobody out. No score in the ball game. We're in the last half of the second. Brazle gets ready. A slow ball. There is a line smash to left. Litwhiler made a beautiful one-hand stab of the ball. Danny Litwhiler just made a sensational catch. He raced in for a low line drive into left field by Gordon, put down his glove at full speed, and came up with the baseball. Another sensational play. And boy, this series is replete with sensational plays by these outstanding players. Now here is Dickey up. Dickey has 1 for 7 in the series, the left-hand batter. Alpha Brazle is all ready. Here's the pitch. It's in very close. Boy, that was a remarkable catch out there by Litwhiler. One of the great catches of the series. Just as Charlie Keller made a beautiful catch to retire the side in the other inning, reaching over into the stands to make a backhand catch of a long foul fly. Brazle, a slim left-hander, stands about 5 feet 10 and a half. He's starting his windup. Here comes the pitch. There is a swing and a bouncing ball down to Klein. He's up with it to peg to first. He is an easy out, and there's 2 gone. The Cardinals peg it around the infield. Bill was out at first base by at least 10 or 12 steps. Here's the first baseman, Nick Etten. Well, maybe Nick can do what Litwhiler did the last time up. He made his first hit. Nick Etten has been 0 for 8 so far in the series, and he'll be trying to break into that hit column right now. 2 out and nobody on in the last half of the second. Alpha Brazle looks down at Walker Cooper getting his sign. Here's Etten, that peculiar crouch of his, and there is a swing and a foul tip. Ball drops at the feet of Walker Cooper. He picks the ball up, gives it to the umpire, Rue, who's back at the plate today. Rue of the American League is working back at the plate. Stewart of the National League at first. Rommel of the American League at second. And Beans Reardon of the National League at third. The umpires are doing their usually splendid job in the series. Brazle is all ready. Here's the next pitch. Etten takes one inside, very close for a ball. It's a ball, 1 strike, 1 count on Etten. 2 out here in the last half of the second at New York. This is the final game of the series in New York. The entire baseball caravan moves on tonight to St. Louis for the first game there on Sunday. Brazle taking plenty of time out there. He's a deliberate worker. Has a lot of windup. Here comes the pitch, and there is a bouncing ball down to Karofsky at third, who's up with it. There is the peg, and he is out at first by a step on a baseball he did not mean to hit. He got his bat in the way that time. As he drew away, the ball hit the bat and rolled down to Karofsky, who came in fast, made a nice play on the ball, and threw him out. And so the totals in the last half of the second are 3 up and 3 down, no runs, no hits, nothing across. And the 2-inning totals here at New York for the Cardinals, no runs and 2 hits. For the New York Yankees, no runs and 1 hit. Their hit was by Steinbach, the first man to bat in the first inning, and the 2 Cardinal hits were spread over 2 innings. Walker doubles, the second man up in the first, and Litwhiler single for his first hit of the series, the third man up in the second. That's the picture here, fans, at New York, as we now go into the first half of the third. The Yankees in their white uniforms are already out on the field. Steinbach in center, Lindell in right, Keller in left, Johnston third, Rossetti short, Gordon second, Etten first, Borowy is pitching, and the catcher is Bill Dickey. The pitcher, Alpha Brazle, gets a nice friendly hand from the crowd as he comes up to the plate. We have another tremendous crowd here today, a tremendous crowd. Brazle backs left-handed. Here's the first pitch to him, and it's a strike. It's over the outside corner, waist high. 1 strike call for Alpha Brazle. The outfield playing him straight away. Borowy gets his sign. Here's the next pitch. He swings and hits a hopper foul down the third base line on the ground. And it's 2 strikes for the Cardinal pitcher. Borowy has number 15 on the back of his white uniform. Just leaned over to pick up the rosin bag. Now he's getting all ready again. Here's the pitch, and there is a swing and a bouncing foul to the right of the plate. Lou Klein is waiting to bat next for St. Louis, picks the ball up and gives it to the St. Louis bat boy. No score at New York. We are in the third inning. No score in the ball game. Borowy gets his sign. Here's the next pitch to Brazle. He swings, and there's the foul. Out of play. It's up into the stands to our left, and it's still 2 strikes. 2 strikes on the Cardinal pitcher batting for the first time today. He's leading off in the first half of the third. No score in the ball game. Borowy taking plenty of time. Right foot forward on the rubber. Now he starts his windup, arms over his head, down again. He swings around. Here comes the pitch. He struck him out. He went for a sharp curveball across his waist, and he goes down swinging. The Yankees pepper that ball around the infield, and that is another strikeout. That is 2 strikeouts for Borowy. Now we're back to the top of the batting order for St. Louis, and here is the second baseman, Lou Klein, up. Klein flied to Steinbach. The first time up. Here he is right below us here, swinging that light-colored bat around. Borowy gets set. Here's the pitch, and there is a mighty swing and a miss. Had a beautiful changeup, a slow curveball that time that came in there as big as a balloon, and Klein missed it. 1 strike. Pitcher's all ready again. There's the windup, and here's the next pitch to Klein at the bunt down the first base line. Etten's going to field the ball. The play is to the pitcher who covered, and he is out on a very close play. A nice fielding play by the Yankees. Etten stepped in a few feet, picked the ball up on the grass, flipped it back to the pitcher who went past him. He and the base runner arrived at almost the same time, except that the pitcher's foot was on the bag first. Give Etten the assist on the play, and the pitcher the put out. 2 gone. Now here's Walker, who has 2 hits in the series. First time up today, he drove a double over the third baseman's head. 2 out and nobody on. The ball game in the first half of the third. There is no score. Borowy gets his sign. There's the windup, and here comes the pitch. It's a swing and a miss, and what a swing. He fell down. You hear that yell from the crowd? Harry Walker was going for the jackpot that time. He swung so hard, he lost his balance and fell down. and the crowd really let out a roar. Walker steps away from an inside hook in around his knees, and it's 1-1. Hope the gang out there at BOQ in the Middle West is enjoying the broadcast today. Ball game is in the third. Nobody on. Walker batting. 2 out. No score in the ball game. Borowy gets his sign. Here comes the pitch. There is a ball. It's wide, and it's ball 2 and strike 1. The 2-1 count. Bill Dickey walks out in front of the plate and then fires the baseball back to Borowy. Brazle has allowed 1 hit. Borowy has allowed 2 hits. We're seeing great pitching again in this third game of the World Series. Now the windup. Here comes the pitch. There is a foul. It's out of play. It's up into the stands. In fact, it hit the top of the stands just over third base and drops back into the lower box seat. And there is another baseball for the servicemen. All the baseballs hit into the stands are sent to the various Army-Navy camps. Ball 2 and strike 2 for Walker. Borowy gets his sign. There's the windup. Here comes the next pitch. There's a fly ball into short right field. Stainback coming over fast. Lindell going over. Lindell's ball. He took it to retire the side. And so, fans, in the first half of the third inning, it is no runs and no hits. Nothing across. It's a case of 3 up and 3 down. That ends the first half of the third inning. You're listening to the broadcast of the third game of the World Series from Yankee Stadium in New York. Pause now for station identification. This is Mutual.
This is WGN, the voice of the people, Chicago.
Well, here we go into the last half of the third inning at New York. In this tremendous stadium, fans, as we look out into center field to our left and to our right, it's a very huge uncovered bleacher section. And all around us here to the left, along the left field line, along the right field line, is a gigantic stadium. It's a triple-decked affair that is really tremendous. The first man to bat for the Yankees in the last half of the third is their right fielder, Johnny Lindell. Johnny used to be a pitcher with the Yankees. This year they transformed him into an outfielder, and he did a right smart job. He has no hits and 3 tries for the series. There's a long fly ball way out in the left center field. Walker going back. He caught that ball way out in left center field, at least 430 feet from home plate for the first out in the last half of the third. I believe that Red and I have been telling you ever since the start of these World Series games how much ground that Harry Walker has been covering in center field. And that was the case there where he ran a country mile for a long smash off the bat of Johnny Lindell way out into left center field. He caught that ball just about 430 feet from home plate. Here's the Yankee pitcher, Hank Borowy, getting a hand as he steps up. That's right-handed. 1 out and nobody on in the last half of the third. No score in the ball game. Brazle pitching. There is a ball. The old sinker broke in too low that time. Walker Cooper goes to his knees to get the ball. It rolls away from him. He just picked it up and fired it back to Brazle. The Cardinals keep up a constant stream of chatter out there in the infield. Brazle is winding up. Here comes the pitch. There's a bouncing foul. The ball hits the dirt, bounced up and hits the batsman, and rolls away. And Cooper gets a new baseball and throws out to Brazle. Brazle won 8 games and lost 2 for St. Louis. He allowed 30 walks and had 26 strikeouts. Here comes the pitch. There is a swing and an outside pitch, and he just got a piece of the ball and fouled it. He foul tipped that ball, and it's ball 1 and strike 2 for the Yankee pitcher, Hank Borowy. Right down below us here, below our Mutual booth, in his white uniform, swinging a light-colored bat around. There's Alpha Brazle, the left-hander, getting all set. He's winding up. Here comes the pitch. There's a hard foul on the ground into the St. Louis dugout. Hank got a piece of that ball and slammed it over to the Cardinal dugout. And it's now ball 1 and strike 2 for Borowy. Yankee outfield the Cardinal outfield playing not too deep and straight away. Brazle is all ready. Here comes the next pitch. There is a swing and a miss. He struck him out. He went all the way around on that ball. The catcher dropped it, and he had him struck out. Now there's 2 gone in the last half of the third, and here's the leadoff man, Stainback. who the first time up today made his second hit of the series. A line single in left field. Stepping into the batter's box now with 2 out and nobody on in the Yankee half of the third, the last half of the third. The Yankee dugout is just below us here to our left, and the St. Louis dugout is just to our right. A bunt. Foul on the ground, down the third base line. Puck was off that time in a hurry for first base, but the ball was foul. It missed the fair territory by a couple of feet. In fact, it never was fair at all. Koroski came in very fast for the ball. Had to run way down the line to pick it up. Stainback, the Yankee center fielder, is batting in the last half of the third. A great World Series, the third game. Series even at a game apiece. Brazle is all ready. Here's the next pitch to Stainback. He swings a roller out to Mark Marion. He's up with the ball. There goes the peg. He's out at first base, and it retires the side. Saunders made a reaching one-hand stab of Marion's high throw. And so it is 3 up and 3 down. No runs and no hits. That is the end of 3 innings in the third game of the World Series, and here are the 3-inning totals. For the Cardinals, no runs and 2 hits. For the Yankees, no runs and 1 hit. There you have it, fans. There's the picture for 3 innings, those of you who might be tuning in late. The Yankees are using Hank Borowy, a right-hander, on the mound, and the St. Louis Cardinals are using Alpha Brazle, a left-hander, on the mound. A lad who a lot of you fans listening in out there on the West Coast will remember. He pitched some great baseball out there for Sacramento. Now we're going into the first half of the 4th inning. There is no score in the ball game. Here's manager Southworth, number 30 on the back of his gray uniform below us. Walking down the third base line, Mike Gonzalez is already in the coach's box at first. And the first man to bat for St. Louis in the 4th is coming up. Is going to be their great right fielder, Stan Musial, who has 2 for 8 in the series, and he walked the first time up today. Here's the first pitch, and there is a swing and a long foul up into the stands way down the left field line. Our broadcast today is being shortwaved around the world to all the men in the service. Stan Musial batting in the 4th inning. Nobody on and nobody out. Borowy gets already out there again. 1 strike on Musial. Here's the pitch, and there's a swing and a base hit. Hit sharply in the left field. Very hard hit ball. Just about a foot over the grass as it went in between Krist and Johnston to left field, and you could tell it was a hit just as soon as it left his bat. It was hit like with the speed of a bullet. Man on first and nobody out. Starting the 4th inning for St. Louis. That is the 3rd hit off of Borowy. Now here is Walker Cooper, the big catcher of the Cardinals, who stopped the rally the first time up by hitting into a double play. He has 2 hits so far in the series. Here's the pitch, and there's an attempted bunt. It goes foul into the stands, right over the Yankee dugout. Attempting to move Musial along to second base, Cooper attempted to bunt the first pitch and bunted a line drive into the stands. And on first base and no one out, 4th inning. Both teams trying hard to get the advantage, to get out in front in this 3rd World Series game. Borowy gets set. Musial has a good lead off. There's a ball that's high right up around his chin, and it's 1-1. The Yankee infield pulls the automatic shift play on an attempted sacrifice. The first baseman moves in, the third baseman moves in, and the second baseman moves toward first to cover over there in case the play goes that way. The shortstop takes all throws at second. Ball 1 and strike 1. Borowy is all set. Watch Musial. Here's the pitch. There's a high infield fly. Right back of the mound. The shortstop, Krist, is waiting for the ball. Thing, he caught it, and there's 1 gone. Walker Cooper hit one a mile high in the air in the infield. It came down just about 10 feet in front of second base, and Krist grabbed it for an easy out. Here's Koroski. Koroski was out the first time up. So far, he's had 1 hit in the series. That was a timely hit, a sharp single to center field yesterday when he drove in a run. Musial on first base. Watch him now. Here comes the pitch. Koroski takes a mighty swing and fouls the ball. It gets away from the catcher and goes back toward the screen. The Yankees keep up a constant stream of the old chatter and pepper out there in the infield, with Bill Johnston at third, Frankie Krist at short, Joe Gordon at second, and Nick Etten on the bag at first. The outfield is playing Koroski just a step or 2 to the left. Musial on first base and one gone. Fourth inning, no score. Here's the pitch, and he swings and misses a curveball up around the letters, and it's 2 strikes. This fella has a beautiful curveball, it's Borowy. That pitch was right in across the letters on Karofsky. He took a mighty swing at that ball, and he missed it, so it's 2 strikes. Musial on first base, 1 out, 4th inning. Borowy getting set, keeps an eye on the base runner. Watch it now. Here's the pitch, and there's a smash. It's a fair ball down the left field line. It's a hit. Here's Musial racing around to third base. The throw is into second base. He hits the dirt, and he's safe at second. It was a very close play at second base. Charlie Keller made a beautiful throw from the left field line, and Karofsky took a head-first slide 10 feet from second base and picked up plenty of dirt on the way and got the call out there from umpire Ramo on a close play. Scored as a 2-base hit. It hit about a foot inside the third base line and went way down the line. And so the Cardinals have their second good scoring opportunity of the ball game here, fans. In the 4th inning, they have a man on second and a man on third with only 1 out. That is hit number 4 off of Karofsky, and Sanders is going to get an intentional tag. Ray Sanders is getting the old 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's way outside. Dickey standing way outside the batter's box. Man on second, a man on third. Only 1 out in the 4th inning. And they're walking Sanders to fill him up. Ball 3, here it is. Ball 3, and now comes ball 4, and Sanders will walk to first base, and the bases will be loaded. There it is, ball 4. He throws the bat to the Cardinal bat boy. And here is Danny Litwhiler, the left fielder, coming up, who today made his first hit in the series. Danny's hit a couple of balls hard in the series, but they were foul. Outside of that, he hasn't really looked his accustomed self up there in the batter's box. Today, he finally came through with a base hit. The first time up. And he's up there now in a spot where he is plenty dangerous. Bases loaded for St. Louis. Musial on third, Karofsky on second, Sanders on first, 1 out. First half of the 4th. They're loaded. Full house. 1 out. Now Borowy is set. Here's the pitch to Litwhiler. It's high. Up around his chin. It's ball 1. Bases loaded. A dramatic moment in the 4th game, or in the 4th inning of the 3rd game of the series. No score as yet. The Cardinals trying to break the ice here, and they have a great scoring opportunity. Borowy getting all set. Here's the next pitch. Litwhiler takes one. It missed the corner. It's ball 3, ball 2. Just missed the corner that time for ball 2. Dickey walks out in front of the plate and shouts something to Borowy, and here is Krist coming in. Frankie's a great little fellow out there in the infield when a fellow gets in a jam to get in there and quiet him down. Goes in there, pats him on the back. Come on, Hank, we'll get him out for you. Just get in there and pitch ball. Musial on third. Karofsky on second. Sanders on first. The ball 2 count on Danny Litwhiler. Here comes the pitch, and it's a spike. A nice one that time in around his knees. It's called, and it's ball 2 and strike 1. 2-1 now for Danny Litwhiler, the St. Louis left fielder. Bases loaded. The best scoring opportunity of the ball game. 1 out. Borowy gets his sign out there again. Ball 2, strike 1. Here comes the pitch, and there's a swing and a foul on the ground to the right of the plate. And now Borowy has evened up the count at 2-2. Big Hank pitching out there with plenty of heart. And the bases loaded and a 2-0 count on the batter. And now he has settled down. Frankie came in there and talked to him, and now he has worked the count to ball 2, strike 2 on Litwhiler. No score in the ball game. This is the 4th inning. Borowy taking plenty of time. He calls time now. Borowy calls time and rolls that ball down to Dickey. A new baseball is being thrown out to him, and Dickey hands that ball to umpire Rue, who's working back at the plate. Now the pitcher wants to talk to the catcher, and they're going to hold a little conference midway between the plate and the mound. They're standing out there now, and Borowy has his glove off. He's rubbing this new baseball around in his bare hands to get some of the shine off of it. Get it all set to get a real feel of it so he can grip it. Now Dickey is turned around. Here he is walking right back, steps over the plate. And Borowy has just reached the mound again. Bases loaded. Ball 2, strike 2 on Litwhiler, who has 1 hit so far in the series. This is a very tense moment in this 3rd game. Ball 2, strike 2, bases loaded. All right, he's starting his windup. Here comes the next pitch, and he swings, and there's a hit. A base base hit into left field. One runner scoring. Here's another man tearing into the plate, and he hits the dirt and scores. 2-run score, and on the throw to the plate, Litwhiler goes to second. The Cardinals lead 2-0. Get it all set to get a real feel of it so he can grip it. Now Dickey is turned around. Here he is, walking right back, steps over the plate. And Borowy has just reached the mound again. Bases loaded, ball 2, strike 2 on Litwhiler, who has 1 hit so far in the series. This is a very tense moment in this third game. Ball 2, strike 2, bases loaded. All right, he's starting his windup. Here comes the next pitch, and he swings, and there's a hit. A base hit into left field. One runner scoring. Here's another man tearing into the plate, and he hits the dirt and scores. 2-run score, and on the throw to the plate, Litwhiler goes to second. The Cardinals lead 2-0. That was a very sharp hit. A base hit into left field. On the throw into the plate from Keller to Dickey, Litwhiler went to second. So Litwhiler is on second. Sanders is on first. Musial and Karaski have scored, and the Redbirds draw first blood. In the third game of the World Series, they lead 2-0 in a big fourth inning. Now time is called. Dickey wants to go out and talk to Borowy. 5 hits. They're going to give an intentional walk to Marty Marion. Man on second, the man on third. They're going to put him up again to work on the pitcher. Litwhiler really raced down there to second base with a fast slide and got in there safely. And the Cardinals using that vaunted speed of theirs every way they can. Ball its way outside. Ball 3 to Marty Marion. Borowy getting ready again. Here comes the next pitch. Ball 4. He walked him. Another intentional pass. Well, this is a big fourth inning here for St. Louis. They've scored 2 runs already, and they still have the bases loaded. And now here's Billy Southworth coming down to talk to Brazle, the pitcher, who is now coming up to the plate. Southworth is now on his way back to third base to the coaching box. And there are runners on first, second, and third. Sanders on third. Litwhiler on second. He came through with a beautiful hit, his second hit of the series, with the bases loaded. And Marion is on first with a walk. Brazle bats left-handed. Here's the pitch, and there's a smash on the ground. Foul. 1 strike. The ball hits down the third baseline, hits against the railing in front of the lower box seats, and bounces out into left field, and Frankie Crissetti chases the ball and picks it up. 3 men on for the Redbirds. 2 runs are in. It's the fourth inning of the third game of the World Series at New York. Pitcher getting all set out there again. Runners on first, second, and third. Here comes the next one to Brazle. Brazle hits a very high infield fly. It's foul outside of first base. It's going to retire the side, and the runners will stay just exactly where they were. It was a very high infield fly that Etten, the first baseman, caught in foul territory about 5 feet, and it retires the batter for the second out. 2 gone. Runners still on first, second, and third, and 2 out now, and here is Klein. He's been up twice today without a hit. 2 runs are in for St. Louis. Bases still loaded. Big fourth inning. As we told you before, Litwhiler is credited with a single. He took second on the throw to the plate. Here's Klein batting. He has 2 hits so far in the series. Here's the pitch. There is a high foul over near the stands. It's going into the stands. It's out of play near first base. Etten races over. At first, you couldn't tell right away whether it was going to be in the stands or not, but it drops in, and it is a foul strike for Klein. The fourth inning of the third game of the World Series finds the Cardinals in front 2-0. Bases are loaded, and Klein is up. Borowy gets his sign. Here comes the next pitch to Klein. He swings and hits a high-bouncing ball out to Crissetti. He's up at the ball. The play is at first, and he is out to retire the side. And 3 men are left on the bases, and that was a very close play. It retired the side, and the totals in the first half of the fourth are 2 runs, 1, 2, 3, 3 hits, and 2 walks, and the 2 walks were intentional. The score at the end of the first half of the fourth, the Cardinals 2 and the Yankees nothing. Come in, Red.
Do you know why you get a more lasting shave? Why your face looks smooth and whisker-free hours longer when you use Gillette Lavish shaving cream? Well, Danny Litwhiler, whose hit just sent in those 2 runs, mentioned this as his personal experience, and he asked the reason for it. And here's the story. Gillette Lather shaving cream contains far more moisture than most creams and soaks your beard more thoroughly. In fact, it forms a spongy lather that's saturated with water and stays wet on your face. Now, when you give your whiskers a good soaking, and I don't mean just wet them, the bristles swell up and lengthen out, believe it or not. And then after you've shaved, the hair shafts shrink back below the skin surface as they dry and leave your face smooth and clean-looking far longer than otherwise. So fans, for the longest-lasting shaves and the best-looking, prepare your beard with Gillette Lather shaving cream.
This is Bob Elson talking to you again. Red Barber will be in to give you his exciting play-by-play on the last half of the ball game today. We're going into the last half of the fourth inning, and here is Krist up, and there is a mighty swing and a miss. Strike. Swung hard at the old sinker ball that time. It was very low outside, and he missed it. Krist batting with nobody on and nobody out, and the Yankees trailing 2-0 in the third game of the series. Wind up, here's the pitch, and there is a curveball that didn't come in quite far enough. It's a ball, 1-1. Alpha Brazle, a left-hander on the mound for St. Louis against Hank Borowy, a right-hander for the Yankees. Brazle is all ready. Here's the next pitch. There's a swing and a ground ball to the left of Marion. He goes for it. Safe at first. It's an error for Marty Marion. The ball went right through his legs into left center field, and the Yankees have a man on first in the last half of the fourth inning. Now they hope that this will be a big inning for them. An error for Marion. Something you seldom see, and here is Johnston, the third baseman, up. Johnston hit into a force play the first time up. Man on first base, and nobody out here in the last half of the fourth as the Yankees fight now to get back into this ball game. Runner on first. Here's the pitch to Johnston. Johnston takes, and it's a called strike. It's right around his knee. Brazle so far has allowed just one hit. A single by Steinbach in the first inning, the first man to face him. Steady on first base, a good lead off. Here's the pitch. It's a ball, low outside, and it's 1-1. Brazle, a youngster out there on the mound for St. Louis, and certainly a youngster in the major leagues, pitches with all the cunning and poise of a veteran. Young man from out there in the West, who's born down in Oklahoma, really knows his way around. Runner on first base, the ball, 1 strike, 1 count on Johnson, the Yankees' great third baseman. Here comes the pitch. There's the swing and a ground ball to Marion. He's up with it over to second now. Back over to first. He's down. A double play. Well, there was a twin killing started by Marion to make up for that error, and it erased both runners. The play going from Marion to Klein to Sanders, and there's 2 gone now, fans, in the last half of the fourth. Here's Charlie Keller. Keller was the strikeout victim the first time up. He has 2 for 8 so far in the series. All the Yankee fans are hoping that Charlie Keller will explode a couple of those famous homers of his before this series is over. This fella can really hit that ball. There's a mighty swing and a foul tip. Rolls on the ground back of the plate, and umpire Rue throws a new baseball out to Brazle. The Yankees started off getting a man on in the fourth when Marty Marion made an error on Crissetti's ground ball, but they quickly mopped up in a lightning-like double play. Marion declined to Sanders on Johnston's ground ball. So there's 2 out in the last half of the fourth. The Cardinals lead 2-0. Keller takes his swing. Can't meet that ball solidly on 2 swings. He rolled a foul on the ground to the St. Louis dugout, and it is now 2 strikes on Keller, the famed Yankee strongman. His 2 teammates who played alongside of him, we hope that they're listening and enjoying the broadcast today, are in the service. DiMaggio in center field, and my old friend Tommy Henrik, who played right field. 2-strike count on Charlie Keller. Brazle sizing him up, getting his sign from Walker Cooper. There's the windup. Here it is. There's another mighty swing, and again he tops that ball. It rolls on the ground off to the left, and the Yankee bat boy comes out of the dugout, which is to our left here, to pick it up. Cardinal outfield is playing Keller way around to the right. This fella can really powder that ball when he hits it to right field. In fact, when he hits it to any field, he drove a tremendous drive over Litwhiler's head in left field yesterday. Here's the next pitch. It's in close, very close to Charlie, and it's ball 1 and strike 2. 2 out and nobody on. St. Louis 2. The Yankees nothing in the last half of the fourth. third game of the World Series and the final game in New York. Next game will be Sunday at St. Louis. Now here's the pitch. There's a slow ball. He slowed up on one that time, but it was a little bit close. And Keller, you could just see, couldn't make up his mind whether or not to take a swing at that ball or not. The crowd sensed his thinking on the ball as it was coming in. It was a real slow one, and he finally let it go by. It was in on the handles. He stepped back and gets the ball count, making it 2-2. Now for Brazle sizing him up. There's the start of the windup again. Here comes the pitch. There's a bouncing ball to Brazle. It's going to be an easy out. The ball is in the air. He's out. The play going from Brazle to Sanders, and it retires the side. And so, fans, that is the end of the fourth inning. No runs, no hits, one error. The error charged to Marion. Gives the Cardinals one error in the ball game. And we're going into the first half of the fifth inning of a 2-0 ball game. Cardinals scored both their runs in the second. Yankees are out there in the field now. Borowy's getting in his practice throws. And before the first man comes to bat in the first half of the fifth, we'll have all our stations come in and identify themselves. You're listening to the broadcast from New York of the number 3 game of the World Series. This is Mutual.
This is WGN, the voice of the people, Chicago.
Now we're back here in the Yankee Stadium, New York City. First man to bat for the Redbirds is going to be Harry Walker, their center fielder, who's played a marvelous fielding game in center field in the series. Had a nice chat with the former center fielder, Terry Moore, who's here for the series today. And old Terry certainly likes the way his teammate is rolled in that center pasture. Walker's playing great ball. He's up in there now. Borowy gets the sign. Here's the first pitch to him, and there is a pop bunt that's going to be caught by the pitcher going to his right toward the third base line, and Walker is out. He attempted the bunt. He popped the ball over near the third base line, halfway between the plate and third base, and it was caught just about a foot inside the line in fair territory for an easy out. The ball just seemed to hang in the air, and Borowy gets the put out. Here's Stan Musial. He walked the first time. Hit safely the second time. A sharp hit to left field. There's the ball. It's low inside, and it's ball 1. Borowy has allowed 5 hits. Brazle has allowed 1 hit. First half of the fifth inning with St. Louis on top, 2-0. Here comes the pitch, and there is a strike. It's a beauty that time. Right in around his knees, a beautiful curveball, and it's 1-1. Tall, slender right-hander Hank Borowy on the mound. He starts his motion out there again. Wind up, here's the next pitch to Musial. Musial hits the ground ball to Crissetti. Frankie comes in fast. There goes the peg. He is out at first base, and there's 2 gone. Did you hear that ooh from the crowd? Etten had to make a reaching one-hand stab to his right, reaching toward right field to make a catch, a one-hand catch of Crissetti's high, wide throw. So that's 2 gone. By the way, Crissetti out there at shortstop is in on those batted balls like a cat. That's 2 gone, and here's Cooper up. First time up, he hit into a double play. Here's the first pitch to him, and there is that ball. It's low and outside, and it's ball 1. Been up twice today without a hit. He has 2 hits so far in the series. He's batting now with 2 out and nobody on. First half of the fifth inning. Borowy gets all set. There's the swing and a long foul. Way up into the stands down the left field line, and it's ball 1 and strike 1. And when this big Walker Cooper gets a hold of that ball, it's really going someplace. The ball hit in the stands and falls back into left field, and Keller is just throwing the ball back into third base. Billy Southward took it on the bounce and throws it back to the bat boy. 2 out and nobody on. Ball 1, strike 1 count on Walker Cooper. Borowy gets all set. Here comes the pitch. There's a swing and a high bouncing ball to Bill Johnston at third. There goes the peg. He's out at first base on a nice play. Johnston to Etten, and it retires the side. And so it is nothing across, fans, in the first half of the fifth inning. The last play, Johnston to Etten. It's 3 up and 3 down. It's no runs and no hits. And the totals for the first 4.5 innings, the Cardinals, 2 runs and 5 hits. The New York Yankees, no runs and 1 hit, a single by Steinbeck off of Brazle in the first inning. Well, fans, this is Bob Elson, who's had the pleasure of bringing you the first half of this ball game. And now for the second half of the ball game, and I'm sure it's going to be very exciting. I'm going to put you in very, very good hands. My old Fred, work made out here on many, many a World Series, Red Barber, will give you his colorful story of the second half of what should be one of the most exciting ball games in the series. Come in, Red.
Thank you, Bob Elson, very, very much. And from my position here, of seeing the plays as they took place and hearing them as you described them. Millions of you listening in have had the best seat I know for this third game of the World Series. And it is with a great deal of humility and a great deal of satisfaction to be attempting the assignment in the last half of this game. Not only the assignment of broadcasting a World Series, but particularly heightened by the many of our fighting men that are listening in overseas. First up in the last of the fifth inning is Joe Gordon, who hit a wicked line drive in the second inning, and Danny Litwhiler made the spectacular circus catch that Bob so graphically told you about, the one-handed running-in catch. Gordon up there, right-hand hitter. Brazle pitches. Gordon swings, has a hot one down to deep third. Kowalski up, the long throw to first, in time but 2 steps, and Joe's out. Third to first, Kowalski to Sanders. Kowalski is a very tough-minded ball player down there. In the first inning, if you'll recall, Steinbach was charging in. He was sliding with those spikes first. Kowalski made the tag and went right into his feet. Bob told you, Steinbach slid into the ball. Kowalski put the ball there and held it there. He's making sure of that out. Bill Dickey up, left-hand hitter, swinging, hit the foul ball into the lower left field stand. Strike one. Steinbach greeted Brazle's very first pitch with a line single to left. And the Cardinals bullpen crew immediately got busy. But they haven't been busy since the first inning. As this half-a-year rookie settle right down. Dickey waits at the plate, swings, hits a ground foul back at first base. Strike two. Brazle took a little off that pitch, and Dickey swung out ahead of it and beat it into the ground. 0-2. One man out, nobody on. Brazle is 28 years old. Looks down into the ground. He's been in baseball a long while. Gotten his seasoning, of course, from the high minors. Delivers, curve swung on. There's a high foul ball coming back and just into the stands. Still 0-2. Dickey in the second inning bounced out on a sharp ground ball, second to first. That was Klein to Sanders. The score stands 2-0 in favor of the Cardinals. Pretty important, as Bill Corum pointed out, just before the play-by-play got underway, the winning of this ball game. It gives the team a very sharp edge. The pitch, curve just missing outside, and Brazle is unhappy about the decision, but he doesn't kick. He just stands there and then turns and goes back to the Rawson bag. 1-2. Brazle works jerkily, which adds to his peculiar type of pitching effectiveness. Comes down, overhand, and pours it low inside under this 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. As a rule, he's pitching sidearm from by way of first base. He's a left-hander. But that one he peeled right out in back of his left ear. They are not playing Dickey to pull particularly. Center fielder Harry Walker's over toward left. Dickey swings and throws a high foul into the upper stands alongside right field. 2-2. Several of our fans want to know just exactly the meaning of a batter pulling. Well, that means hitting out slightly ahead and pulling it in his natural direction. Dickey, a left-hand hitter, would pull toward right field. Any right-hand batter who pulls would be pulling one towards left field. 2-2. One man out. Brazle taking his time. A new supply of baseballs is brought into Rue. Brazle didn't have one, so he just stood there and finally held his hands out there just to say, well, can't pitch empty-handed. Rue nodded and said, you sure, kid? And tossed him a pelota, as Mike Gonzalez would say. The 2-2 pitch to Dickey swung on. There's a high fly ball out along the left field line. Litwhiler going over close to the line and foul ground, and he can't get it. The ball is 1 row of feet back. It was in that same sector that Charlie Keller made his fine one-handed catch of that foul ball hit by Marion in the second inning. The outfield play in the series has been excellent, and so far in today's ball game it has been superlative. And Harry Walker ran and ran and ran. Like somebody said, they had a free steak with no ration points. Back there in the third inning. Cut that ball about 440 feet back there. So it was hit by Lindell. Dickey swings and hits a line drive into right field for a base hit. That's the second safety for the Yankees, and Dickey, after hitting innumerable fouls, finally straightened one out. Klein, who was already playing deep, leaped and was just about a half a foot short. And Dickey comes up with his second hit of the World Series. Line single in the right. And this is the second hit for the Yankees this afternoon. It's number 7 in the ball game. So this means that Brazle has to be very careful. The tying run is up there at the plate. Right now, in the person of Nick Etten, who is base hit hungry. He hasn't had one yet so far, and this is his first World Series. He's 0 for 1 today and 0 for 9 so far for the Fall Classic. Dickey at first, 1 man out. Etten takes a fastball down by the shins. It makes him move his feet. Ball 1. Walker Cooper fires the return. The outfield is severely shifted around toward right. They're playing Etten as a sharp pull hitter toward right. He's in that crouch. Faces the pitcher. Wide open stand. Brazle works. A curve swung on. There's a high pop fly going back of short. There's Fletch Marion waiting. And he takes it. Squeezes it for out number 2. Put out by the shortstop. So it is now 2 down. And here is Lindell. Talk about a fellow who was unhappy. He really cowtailed one. There are not many ballparks that have enough real estate in them for any center fielder to catch the ball that Lindell hit in the 3rd inning. He hit it 440 feet. But Harry Walker went back there and pulled it down. That's the longest run for a catch so far in the series. And Lindell, who was sure when he belted it that he had something, when he finally realized that it was just another putout, he walked a little slower going back into the dugout. And the Yankees back in the dugout understood why, because they all raced to the front of the dugout and gave him a big hand as he came in, as if to say, okay, you just keep hitting him that way. They can't catch him. Not all of them. Lindell up again, 2 down. Johnny crouches and takes a high inside curve, breaking in by the hands and turning him partially back. Ball 1. Right-hand hitter. Lindell is 6'4". He's a big fella. Lot of leverage. Outfield deep around toward left. Brazle in position, looks at first. Now pitches. Lindell swings, hits a high foul up and back. Walker Cooper sheds his mask, is tearing back. He can't get it. The ball lands just on top of the beginning of the screen, directly behind Hall. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lindell backs out, gets some dirt on his hands. Oh, say, speaking of getting dirt on your hands, this is the last game at Yankee Stadium this year. The series resumes at St. Louis on Sunday. And one of the most memorable baseball sights that I have in the back of my mind is after the second game at Sportsman's Park, St. Louis last year. Remember how the fans out there poured out and scooped up handful of the dirt off pitcher's mound and around home plate and took it home in handkerchiefs as a souvenir. Lindell swinging, hits another foul, this one all the way back to strike 2. And by the way, folks, our broadcasting times from St. Louis will be 1 hour back of the starting times of the 3 games here at New York. They'll begin at 2:15 Eastern War Time, which of course is 1:15 Central War Time. Lindell digging in. Brazle comes down. A changeup that is over for foul strike 3. He just pulled it a change of pace right on over. And Lindell was caught looking. That's the 3rd strikeout for Brazle. No runs, 1 hit. Dickey getting a single and dying at first base. And at the end of 5 innings for the Cardinals, 2 runs. They hammered them over in the 4th inning. Litwhiler drove them in. 2 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error. The Cardinals have made so far 5 errors in the series. For the Yankees, no runs, 2 hits, and the Yankees no errors this afternoon. The Yankees had no errors yesterday, and they made 2 errors in the first game. For the Yankee club afield defensively, as we are preparing now to move into the 6th inning, it is the slender blonde right-hander, Hank Borowy, who is known around these parts as the blister boy. I would say that he's had the most celebrated finger blister in baseball, certainly in the modern era. The way Borowy spins his curve off has caused a friction point to come up on one of the fingers of his pitching hand, and that has bothered him on occasion ever since he's been up with the Yankees. However, he has it well under control right now. Borowy on the mound, Dickey back of the plate. The infield is Etten at first, Gordon at second, at shortstop, fine veteran Gillette, who's playing handsomely in the series, and at third base, the rookie Bill Johnston. We'll pick up the outfield in a moment. Meanwhile, here's Karowski, who blasted a double in the 4th inning. There's a low curve to George for ball 1. Keller is in left field for the Yankees. Same back in center, and Lindell in right. We'll set the Cardinals the field defensively for in the last half of this inning. Third baseman Karowski at the plate, swings and tips it foul. And as the boys say, he was swinging from Terry Holt. He took that full cut.
1-1. First man up in the sixth inning for St. Louis. The Cardinals lead 2-0. Borowy comes down easily. Fastball swung on and missed right off the hands for strike two. Borowy works very gracefully, very easily, and very quickly. He doesn't waste any time. Gets the sign from Dickey. Pumps once, pumps again. Trim right-handed pitches. A curve swung on and fouled straight back, and it is 1-2. Same count. Krafke, very stocky, square-shouldered. He's a strong, solid 200-pounder. He has a very crooked right wrist. The pitch is swung on as a high pop fly wide of first. Etten is under it, and he has it. When we got a chance to tell you about that right wrist of Krafke's, because it is a great story, and it is very indicative of the man himself. Well, the story was that as a boy, that wrist was injured, and the bone got infected. An operation took about 4 inches of the bone out, one of the major bones. And despite that handicap, he's made the major leagues because he wouldn't give up. Here now is Sanders, the first baseman, left-hand hitter. Takes a high outside pitch. Ball one. Outfield is toward right. They're playing ready to pull. He pulled one yesterday, just into the lower right field stands, and that was what finally broke it up. Swings and misses. So he had the same identical thought today. 1-1. Borowy had changed up on him and gave him a soft curve, high. 1-1. One out, nobody on. Hank pitching very neatly. Delivers. Big curve inside, almost at the kneecap. 2 balls, 1 strike. Joe Rule of the American League, working balls and strikes today. Very great performance by the umpires in this series. The pitch is high for ball 3. Bill Stewart down at first base. Brazle is at second. And Reardon is at third. The alternate, Tipgrass and Jocko Conlon. Sanders set. Here is the 3-1 pitch. Over. A fastball just above the knees on the outside. 3-2. It's a nice pitch. Now Dickey settles down on his haunches to give the sign. Rue spreads his feet, leans right over the catcher. The batter crouches. The pitch swung on as a hot one. Hit back of second. Gordon, a backhanded stop the throw. In time for the out. Oh, what a play. Well, that is the infield play so far today. Gordon went a couple of steps back on the center field grass behind second. A backhanded stop. And, Joe is a great acrobat, a great tumbler, and without any loss of motion, he whirled and threw off balance back to first. Now here's Danny Litwhiler. Takes a curveball over for a called strike. Borowy recognizes this hitter. It was Litwhiler with the bases loaded and 1 out in the 4th inning. Hammered in the 2 runs. Cardinals lead by 2-0. Danny swinging, hit the foul ball into the stands. Back of the Cardinal dugout, which is on the first base side. Nothing in 2. It was quite a scramble by some of the spectators for that one. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Litwhiler plants those feet far apart, digs in, outfield toward left. Danny takes a high change-up curve, high inside for ball 1. Litwhiler came up to this game today, 0 for 5 in the way of hits, and so far they haven't been able to get him out. He has 2 for 2, and his 2 hits are the ones that have hurt Borowy the most. The first one actually hit him right on the shin. Litwhiler swings and misses for strike 3, and Borowy does a little evening up. The second hit, of course, hurt Hank when it drove in the 2 runs. Well, each pitch is now even with 3 strikeouts apiece. And at the end of 5.5 innings, with the Yankees coming in last of the 6th, it is 2-0 St. Louis. Art Fletcher, the veteran first base coach of the New York Yankees, who is now participating in his 14th World Series, says, "You betcha I use the Gillette Blue Blade. I wouldn't think of using any other kind of a Gillette razor." And that's Art's way of saying that teamwork counts in other things besides just baseball, and that shaving is one of them. You see, friends, razor and blade must work together perfectly to give you shaving comfort. That means they must be made for each other, fit accurately. The Gillette Blue Blade is precision made by the same skilled workman who built your Gillette razor. Put these 2 together, and you've got a matchless shaving team. One that performs perfectly and protects you from the smart and irritation caused by misfit blades. Also, you get cleaner shaves, snappier looking ones, and save money, too. For the Gillette Blue Blade is the sharpest, longest-lasting blade produced. Brazle on the mound. He's pitching like he'd been in as many series as Art Fletcher. He's only finishing one half of first year in the majors. Ready to face Borowy. Pitches low. Ball one. First pitch last the sixth inning. Borowy up for his second at bat in the third inning. He struck out swinging. Brazle comes down. Borowy swinging. Grounds it foul. 1-1. Rue turned around, hollered no. That's an umpire's way of saying ball's out of play. No. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brazle pitching and Walker Cooper catching. Cardinal infield. Sanders at first, Klein at second, Marion at short, Krosky at third. There's an inside curve, and Borowy baits back away from it. Ball 2. St. Louis picket line. There's Danny Litwhiler in left. Harry Walker in center. Stan Musial in right. Brazle comes down. Borowy swings and goes all the way around, missing, and it is 2-2. Speaking of Fletcher, this being his 14th World Series, Earl Combs, who is the first base coach, this is his 11th World Series. Manager Joe McCarthy is participating in his 9th, so the 3 masterminds for the Yankees represent 34 World Series between them. There's a high fly ball back in the left. Back goes Litwhiler, way back, and he can't get it. And on one bounce, it's into the lower left field stand. And Borowy goes down to second and holds up on a ground rules double. Well, Hank Borowy decides he's not only going to do some pitching today, but he's also going to do some hitting. And he really hit one. It hit just in front of the lower left field seats, where it marked 402 feet. It hit about 7 or 8 feet in front of that wall and bounced in easily on a high bounce. It was hit completely over Litwhiler's head. And Borowy opens up the last of the 6th inning with a long, solid double. Bounce it in. It's a ground rules double. And it's hit number 3 for the Yankees. Here now is Steinbach, who got the first of the Yankees' 3 hits. He's 1 for 2. Right-hand batter. Swings and hits a foul ball into the right field stand. Lower feet. Strike 1. Well, that puts a new face on things. And the crowd here has suddenly started moving around, getting more interested. When the pitcher leads off the last half of the inning with a double, well, that means business. 2-0 St. Louis, and the Cardinal bullpen is busy. Steinbach crouches, right-hand hitter. Swings and hits a fly ball out into short right along the line. Musial going over, and he can't quite come up. Yeah, he's got it. He's got it. Makes the catch, and after the catch of that foul ball, Borowy, tagging up at second, goes down. It looked for the moment as though Musial would have to stop because he went right up against the lower stand. But he reached in and off the chest of one of the spectators, made a backhanded catch of the foul ball. And to complete the niceness of the play, Bill Stewart, the first base umpire, had hustled right down the line and was right on top of it. It was then easy, as Musial was getting rid of the stand and turning around, it was then easy for Borowy to tag up and to move down to third base. So Borowy is on at third. 1 man out. It was a brilliant catch for Stan Musial. Here now is Frank Crosetti, who is 0 for 1 today. He sacrificed in the first inning and got on for an error in the 4th. The infield moves up a couple of steps, but not all the way. Brazle throws the ball over to third baseman Karowski, who rubs it up. That's all the throw was for, killing a little time. Third base coach Fletcher goes in, talks to Borowy for the moment. Now let's see. It's 2-0 St. Louis. The Yankees, for the first time, got a runner safely as far as third base. 1 man out. Crosetti digging in. Fine little veteran who had a great season this year, just when the Yankees needed it most. And then Crosetti steps out as Brazle was ready to pitch. So there is the ice in reverse. Crosetti waited, and then when the pitcher finally got all set, then he stepped out and made the pitcher wait. Now Brazle pumps, delivers. Crosetti swings and misses. And that was a downer that was on the outside and low. Brazle, of course, is trying to make Crosetti hit the ball on the ground. You pitch him low and breaking stuff. 0-1. Frank digs in. Chucks that stick about 2 inches. Gillette has had 3 hits so far in the series. Swings and hits a high pop fly into very short left. There, see, there's Litwhiler coming in. He gets under it, and Borowy has to hold at third base. Krist crossed up the Cardinals to the extent that he hit the ball in the air on the fly, which he was trying to do, and not beat it on the ground to one of the infielders, but he didn't hit it far enough. And in short left field, Litwhiler made the catch, and his strike throw to the plate held Borowy glued to third. So it is now 2 men out. Last of the 6th inning. Bill Johnston steps in. Cool-eyed, steady young man. He's had a great first year in the majors. Outfield, round toward left. The infield is now back. The defense is playing for 1 out. 2 men gone. Brazle pitches, and it's a fastball low inside at the chin. For ball 1. Johnston chokes that stick just about an inch. Square stance. He's easily balanced. 2-0 favor St. Louis and the Yankees trying to get a run in. Borowy's done everything he could. He opened up this last of the 6th with a double. Brazle holding on pitches. There's a bounding ball hit slowly down wide of third. Correct. Throws. Not in time. And a run crosses, and Johnston is safely on. A slow trickler was hit toward the hole between third and short. Only the third baseman had time to cut in, intercept, and make the play. We're waiting the judgment of the scorer. Probably it will be an error. However, it could go either way because it was one of those tricklers and a difficult chance. The scorers are not rushing their decisions. They're taking their time and being sure they have them right. And it is an error charged against Karowski, which means that it's not a run batted in for Johnston. And it is now a 2-1 ball game. The tying run is at first base. So Johnston is on at first through Karowski's error, and Borowy has the honor of scoring his own first run. Charlie Keller, always dangerous, digging in. Outfield toward right. Keller crouches and swings, hits a bounding ball to shortstop Marion, who steps on second for the unassisted force on Johnston. Rack up Keller's a force out, and the Yankees get 1 run. 1 hit. There was 1 man left. There was 1 error, which of course was largely important. It is 2-1, favor of St. Louis, and that ends the first half of the 6th inning. And now, come in, Bob Elson.
Man, if you've ever worked aboard ship in any part of the world, or can cook or bake, Uncle Sam needs you right now. One of the most serious manpower shortages of the war confronts our fast-expanding merchant marine. It's the vital problem of manning 5 brand-new ships every day with experienced men to serve as the basis of new crews. You retired officers, mates, engineers, able-bodied seamen, all of you are vitally needed. The pay is swell. Able seamen make up to $300 a month. Engineers up to $850. And meals, room, medical, and dental attention are free. You get comfortable bunks, tasty food, and lots of it. Here's your chance to help do a job on which everything depends. Send a telegram collect to the Merchant Marine, Washington, D.C., giving your name, address, and rating. Or if you can't get to a telegraph office, send a letter or postcard to the Merchant Marine, Washington, D.C. That's all. Uncle Sam will do the rest.
And this is the old redhead moving in again now as we move on to the 7th inning. It's a 1-run ball game. It is 2 runs, 5 hits, and 2 errors for St. Louis. 1 run, 3 hits, and no errors for New York. 2-1. Borowy, who is very deftly back in the ball game, thanks largely to his own efforts. It was quite a double he boomed. He's ready to face Marion, Brazle, and then lead off a Lou Klein in the 7th. When the Yankees come back for their half of the 7th, it will be Gordon, Dickey, and Etten going against Brazle. Roy stands there, trim figure, and here is the tall young man, Marty Marion. Once you see him, you recognize that while the ball players immediately dubbed him Slats. Tall and lean. First pitch is a neat curve snapped in and over. Roy has a good number 2, as the boys in the business say. Dickey gives the sign. Hank delivers. Curve low outside. He throws pretty much 3/4 overhand. 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. But let's Southworth talking it up. He's the Cardinal manager, coaching back of third. Mike Gonzalez, coaching back of first. Roy pitches. Marion swinging, fouls it back into the seats. 1-2. All the balls that go into the stands are handed to the ushers. They in turn take them to receptacles. One is stationed alongside each dugout. And the next time the baseballs are used, will be used by service teams. Roy pumping. He's ahead on the count. 1-2. Delivers. There's a slow curve which is hit down into the ground foul. Roy immediately starts pumping as soon as he reads Dickey's sign. Delivers. Strike 3 swinging. And Marion went after one that was going right on over the plate and sinking. This is the second straight man that Borowy has fanned. Gives him a total of 4 altogether. A big round of applause for Alpha Brazle. He moved right into the league after the All-Star game and after Howie Pollard went into the Armed Forces, won 8 and lost 2, and he's moved right on into this World Series and handled himself with consummate skill. Swings on the first pitch and fouls it back against Dickey's mitt. Strike 1. Brazle is the wearer of number 11 for St. Louis. He's a left-hand batter, stands with his feet close together, steps up and takes a real cut, and hits a bounding ball now down to short. Crissetti up with it, fires to first, in time, Etten receiving it. And that's all for Brazle. 2 men up, 2 men down, top of the 7th. Well, Frank Crissetti is certainly a happy man. He got the news, of course, that Tuesday, his wife, away out in San Francisco, California, had given birth to a son, his second child. The batter now is Lou Klein, takes a pitch on the outside. And the oddity is that Crissetti was born on October 4th. His daughter, 2 years ago, was born on October 4th, which was the final game of the World Series with the Yankees and the Dodgers. Klein of the Cardinals up. Roy working carefully, delivers. Big curve swung on and popped up back of short. There's Crissetti himself under it, waiting. He has it. 3 up. 3 out. Top of the 7th, and now the Yankee fans at the stadium rise with a mighty roar as the Yanks come in after the 7th. Now, we're going to pause very briefly for station identification. This is Mutual.
And this is WGN Chicago.
This is the third and the final game to be played at the stadium this fall. The rest of the games, no matter how many they may be, we know now there'll have to be 2 more. Can be a total of 4 more. The rest of the games in St. Louis will begin Sunday. And remember that on your air time, that the games will start at St. Louis 1 hour later than they have been starting here at the stadium as we move from Eastern into a Central time zone. In other words, where we've been coming on the air at 1:15 Eastern War Time, we'll be coming on beginning Sunday afternoon at 2:15 Eastern War Time. Of course, at St. Louis, it'll be 1:15 Central War Time. Now, in the last of the 7th, Joe Gordon first up. Outfield around toward left. Infield swung a step toward third. Brazle delivers, and it's a curve ripped in over the hands with something on it. Called strike. Art Fetcher rips out a couple of encouraging calls from back of third. Gordon stands there. Has that stick high in the air. Swings, fouls it straight back. Nothing in 2. Gordon is 0 for 2 this afternoon. Danny Litwhiler perpetrated about as pretty a piece of daylight robbery as you'll ever want to see in the second inning when he came tearing in at top speed, leaned down, and just off the grass tops made a one-handed, glove-handed catch. Took a lot of courage to make that play because had he missed, the ball would have gone through for plenty of extra bases. Gordon takes a curve, go inside. Ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Had he missed, the ball would have gone plenty of extra bases. Gordon takes a curve, go inside. Ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A tough tussle here this afternoon. Any one-run game is. especially when the chips are down. And the games won and lost in the series are even at 1 apiece coming up to this one. Brazle delivers. The curve swung on, belted. Foul. The lower left field seat. And Joe swinging. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Brazle stands quietly. Now delivers. Gordon swings as a bounding ball hit too short. Marion up with it. The long throw is there by a step. And Gordon's out. Marion moving a step to his right over toward third. Coming up with it. 1 up, 1 away. Last to the 7. Bill Dickey. The single into right field is last at bat. He has 1 for 2. He has 2 hits for 9 times up so far in this series. Dickey and Krist, of course, are the real World Series experienced veterans. Between them, they've really been in a mess of them. Dickey takes a low inside curve, ball 1. Outfield, a couple of steps toward right. Walker Cooper stays low back of the plate after giving the sign. The pitch is just above the knees, over for a called strike. 1-1. The umpiring has been beautiful this series. Always good. And great this time. Pitch swung on. There's a bounding ball way wide of first. Sanders fields it, tosses to Brazle, who covers and throws the bag for the out. And Dickey is out to first baseman to the pitcher. Without the slightest bit of indecision, Brazle was greyhounding over toward first base. That means a great deal for a first baseman because those balls that come down on that borderline terrain, whether the first baseman should leave the bag and go for them or whether he should go back to the bag and hope the second baseman can cover, means a lot to know that the pitch is going to be there. 2 out. Here's Nick Etten. He's beginning to understand how Dodge and East felt. Nick takes a low outside curve. Ball 1. The old boy with Atlanta looking for the honest fella. There's no busier than Etten is here in this series looking for his first hit. He's been up there at bat 10 times. No dice. Brazle works. Etten takes a half swing. The pitch is over anyhow. It's a strike on either count. 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out. Last to the 7th. 2-1 game. These two clubs are really gnawing at each other. Grinding away, pitch by pitch. The throw, swung on, beaten into the ground, foul, past first base. Sanders retrieves it, same ball remains in play. Brazle walking to the mound. He had started when that ball was hit down the foul line over toward first base to be there in case there was a play. Now the gone. Blonde left-hander pumps, delivers, curve low outside. Etten refused to go fishing. It's ball 2. 2-2. This Nick is a big fella. Second baseman Klein is a step back on the right field grass. Etten swings and misses at an outside curveball for strike 3. That is the 4th strikeout for Brazle. Each hurler has a total of 4. It is 2-1 in favor of the Cardinals, and that ends the 7th inning. At post exchanges, ship service stores, and similar military outlets, soldiers and sailors are now receiving Gillette Blue Blades in a special package designed for the armed forces. This is known as the camouflage package and is identified by its distinctive khaki and green colors. Gillette blades in the camouflage package are of true Gillette quality through and through. So bank on them to give you swell-looking, comfortable shaves that last a long time. This special package of Gillette blades is available only at military outlets. And friends, you may have noticed that there is no mention of Gillette products or Gillette sponsorship of this World Series broadcast during the play-by-play account of the game. That's because this broadcast is shortwave to our servicemen overseas, and Army regulations forbid commercial credit of any kind. So all commercials are brief and are confined to spots between innings when they are tuned out by the shortwave monitor. Gillette is proud to so cooperate with government authorities in bringing this World Series broadcast to our boys. Harry Walker, first up for the Cardinals. Boy, he's been a galloping ghost out in center field this series. A 10-hitter with a 2-tone bat. Takes a high outside pitch for ball 1. Harry belted a double inside the left field line in the first inning. Then lifted a fly ball to right field in the 3rd and tried to bunt and pop out to pitcher Borowy in the 5th. So he's 1 for 3 today. And Dixie's little brother, well, younger brother, just about as big as Dixie, is 2 for 12 so far. Up for his 13th World Series at bat. Swings and hits a high fly ball deep behind first. Etten backs up along the right field line and makes a nice catch just a step fair. He's backpedaling all the way. Harry Walker pops up high and out to the Yankee first baseman. Stan Musial gets in. He's not only a great hitter, but he is a great fielder. Sets himself, puts those dark brown eyes on Roy's right hand. Here's the pitch. Musial swings as a high foul, landing back onto the screen directly behind home. Strike one. Stan blistered the liner. Bob told you in the fourth inning. That really got that two-run uprising underway. That gives him 1 for 2 today, as he had walked, which was not an official at bat in the first inning. 3 hits so far in the series. Stan swings as a fly ball hit back into left field. Keller going back to his right, turns, takes the catch. And that Keller, who is known, of course, for his long-distance clouding, is also a very fine fielder. You know, sometimes a fellow is so good in one department that you don't think of him in the other. For example, ball players will tell you that they don't know of a better fielding right fielder, a fellow who threw more accurately and intelligently to the bases than Babe Ruth, but you never hear of that. It's always a home run. Here's Walker Cooper up, swings and belts one out to right field, and it's in there for a base hit. And the Cardinal catcher and captain is on, driving a single into right field with 2 down at the top of the 8th inning, and that is hit number 6. This is the first man for the Cardinals to get on since Marion was purposely passed with 1 out in the 4th inning after the 2 runs were scored. Roy has done a most effective job of pitching. He had retired 13 consecutive batters where Walker Cooper singles. Here's Kowalski. Whitey swings and goes around missing. He went after a high fastball. Strike 1. 2 out, top of the 8th. Walker Cooper beating down off first base. Etten holding the inside corner of the bag against him. Outfield, around toward left. Kowalski sets, steps up, takes inside. One that bent him back slightly. Ball 1. Pitched on the hand. Mr. Roy was really moving after he finally, after Litwhiler single, you know it. Retired 13 men. Kowalski swings and beats the ball foul back at third base. Johnston goes over and knocks it down. Flips it on to shortstop Grizzetti, who flips it on to Gordon, who flips it on to Etten. Ball passed around the infield. The one thing about ball players, they really like to throw that ball around. They really like to hit it. Roy checks around at first, in position, delivers. Curve swung on and foul straight back. Still 1-2. The count holding. Score remains 2-1. Favor St. Louis. Cooper down at first base with a flip of the wrist single. No, he's a big, strong fella. He waited until that ball was practically on top of him, and then he just flipped his wrist and, you might say, flicked the line drive into right field. He didn't take a full cut. First man to get on since the Cardinals got their 2 runs in the 4th. That's really pitching. Roy comes down out of his stretch in position, checks the runner, peering over his left shoulder, now delivers to the plate. High for ball 2. 2-2. Dickey working easily. He has a habit of stepping onto the plate or just ahead of it, or walking a couple of paces ahead of it when he makes his returns back to his battery mate. Everything quiet for the moment. Slender Hank delivers. There goes the runner from first. There's Dickey's throw. The pitch was high for ball 3, and it's out at second base with Gordon taking Dickey's throw, and Walker Cooper is cut down on the attempted steal. The catcher to the second baseman. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. Top of the 8th. The score remains 2-1 St. Louis, and that ends the first half of the 8th inning. You pay no premium whatever and get plenty of pluses when you shave the all Gillette way. In fact, as Al Brazle, who's pitching so superbly today for the Cardinals, says, it wakes you up, refreshes you, makes you feel right on the button. And that's putting it straight. So when you prepare your face with Gillette shaving cream, either the lather or brushless kind, and glide through your whiskers in jig time with a Gillette blue blade, you feel as fresh as a daisy and have that up-and-coming look. Now, you men who prefer brushless cream will rate Gillette brushless the ace of them all. For here's brushless cream that's absolutely greaseless. It's stays moist on your face and rinses off instantly. Equally important, it can't clog your razor or bathroom plumbing. And to top it all, friends, you get quick, easy, spick and span shaves that are really something. So you up and ask for Gillette shaving cream, lather or brushless. Only 25 cents. The last of the 8th inning, and Johnny Lindell out in the batting circle, and then it'll either be Borowy or a pinch hitter. His activity in the Yankee bullpen. In the Yankee bullpen today, Adley Donald, Johnny Murphy, Charlie Winslow, and Marius Brazle. There's Lindell walking up toward the plate. He hit one. Oh, boy, he hit one. But it was caught by Harry Walker back in the 3rd inning. Lindell digging in. He's still to register for his first series safety. He's 0 for 5. Didn't play in yesterday's game. Right-hand batter. Left-handed Brazle pitches. High curve. And it is ball 1. Well, everything's getting tenser and tighter. And every pitch has more importance. Sands dropping fast. The hourglass of this ball game, it is 2-1 St. Louis. First man up for the Yankees. Last of the 8th inning. This is the 3rd game of the series and the last of the big stadium. And, of course, this is another full house, which means that the attendance records for the first 3 games of any series are shattered. There's a line drive for Lindell's first hit. It's into center. Bounces off Harry Walker's chest. Lindell starting to second. Walker recovers, throws to Marion, and Lindell is in there, picking up an extra base when the ball bounces off the center fielder's chest. We'll wait the judgment of the scorer. That could either be a double, the ball was hit so savagely, or it could be a single and an error. At any rate, the important salient fact is that the Yankees have the tying run at second with nobody out in the last half of the 8th inning. It is scored officially as a single for Lindell, advancing on the concomitant error by center fielder Harry Walker to second base. This is the Cardinal 3rd error of the game, and it is their 7th of the series, and they do not consider it lucky. And now we're going to have a pinch hitter. George Sternweiss, the stocky right-hand hitting shortstop. Gillette took the play away from him in the pennant race. Sternweiss getting in. Right-hand batter. First appearance in the World Series, finishing his rookie year. George Sternweiss, stocky, 5'8", 180 pounds. There's a pitch out. The throw down to the second is not made. It's bluffed. The Yankees weren't fooling around. You remember, it was a pitch out. They closed up shop last year when Gordon was caught off second base, and the same Walker Cooper threw to the same shortstop, Marion. That was ball 1, a pitch out, but Lindell was not down too far. Nobody out. Last of the 8th. Activity in the Cardinal bullpen. The Cardinals looking for the bunt. Sternweiss tries the bunt and fouls it back. And it is strike 1. The Yankees playing desperately for 1 run. And the Cardinals just as desperate, trying to thwart them. St. Louis leading by a precious run, 2-1. The Yankees have that tying tally at second base. First baseman Sanders way up on the inside grass, inside first. Krosky up inside third. The pitch. There's a bunt down toward first. Sanders up, throws to third, and he's out. He's out at third, and then Krosky drops the ball, and it's safe. Krosky did not hold the ball. Such was the force of Lindell's furious slide. Krosky is getting up slowly. He was very heavily jarred in that encounter. Big Lindell, 6'4", 200 pounds, came turning down that base path from second to third. Sanders, the alert first baseman, made a brilliant play. Anticipating the bunt, he was running in at top speed, picked it up, and threw accurately to third base, and his throw was there in time. Krosky went right down into the dirt to meet the runner. They met, and Beans Riddon, the third base umpire, who was right on top of the play, immediately put the out on. And then, as Krosky rolled slightly on the ground, Riordan saw that the ball had come out of the third baseman's glove and was on the ground, and of course he automatically switched to the safe side. Lindell is walking around shaking his head a little bit. The Yankee trainer goes out, Eddie Frolic, but Johnny's all right. But Lindell is But Kurowski is shaking his head very sadly. Manager Southworth has gone down to third. A lot of the Cardinals around George, and George is sort of feeling at the back of his neck. He and Lindell met just like a couple of runaway locomotives. An error has to be charged to Kurowski, which is the second error of this inning and the fourth error for the Cardinals in this ball game. They're 8 to the series. An assist is given to Sanders. First baseman made a great play. Kurowski's okay. He's going to stay in. He's feeling his nose now sort of meditatively. Boy, those two fellas hit. You do not credit Sternweiss with a sacrifice. No sacrifice. You put him on merely as a fielder's choice, which is an official at-bat if you're scoring that completely. So runners at first and second. Last of the 8th inning. That's the tying run at third. 2 extra bases. And a life now on the bases because of miscues, and here's Steen back up. Was 1 hit. He's a former Cardinal, by the way. Right-hand batter. Brazle pitches. George fouls it down into the ground. And this left-hander, through no fault of his own, is now in quite a spot. Sternweiss, who hit for Borowy in the last of the 8th, on at first base. Everybody watching. It's a tough ball game for Kurowski. Second error that's had to be charged against him. Brazle delivers. There's a pitch out. There is no throw as the runners duck right back. Lindell back into third. Sternweiss back into first. Sternweiss can run. Last year in the International League, he burned it up stealing bases. Sanders holding the bag against him. The rest of the Cardinal infield right up on the base paths, in close. The outfield around toward left. Nobody out. Last of the 8th inning. Brazle works. There's a high fly ball into halfway left field. Litwhiler under it, makes the catch, and Lindell holds on at third base, but down to second goes Sternweiss. 1 out, and the runners at third is held. The throw came through third, and Kurowski cut it off. Of course, that was the only play for Litwhiler. In other words, they weren't worried so much about Sternweiss. He was anchored at first, ready to go after the catch. He knew they wouldn't be throwing to second. The throw had to come low through third base. It was a perfect throw by Litwhiler. It was cut off halfway to the plate by third baseman Kurowski. So Steinbach is out, and it's 1 man gone. After the catch of the fly ball, Sternweiss moves to second. Frankie Crissetti is the batter with Johnston to follow. Now, what are the Cardinals going to do? That's the tying run at third, the potential winning run at second. First base is open, 1 man out. Are they going to put Crissetti on and try to get the double play or the fourth plate, or are they going to pitch to Crissetti and go for it all? They're going to put Crissetti on. Here comes ball 1, way outside. Crissetti couldn't reach it with a 10-foot celery plank. There's ball 2. 2-0 in a moment. The bases will be full of Yankees, and it'll be 1 man out, last to the 8th, and the score still persists. St. Louis 2, New York 1. There's ball 4. Go ahead, and Crissetti's gone. Delivered base on ball. This is the first walk given up by Brazle. He has pitched a great ball game. Had his defense been sound, he would have been in no trouble at all today. However, pitchers know when they take them out, just as sure as they're going to be hits, they're going to be errors. They have to be prepared to pitch that way because baseball is played that way. Here now is Johnston. The infield is up 1 to 2 steps. They're hoping for the double play. Johnston, right-hand batter. Takes a curve over, just off the hand for a called strike. This great crowd is applauding every play today, no matter which team makes it. Johnston steps back, spits into the palms of his hands. Now gets a hold of that war club and steps in, crouches, leaning over the plate. 3 on, 1 out. The pitch swung on. There's a line drive called to left center field. It's a base hit and goes through for extra bases. Lindell scores. Sternweiss is scoring. In comes Crissetti to score. Johnston is coming into third base. A triple. Keller steps in. Runner at third. The Yankees lead 4-2. Johnston belted a line drive through between the left and center fielders. Harry Walker frantically tearing at top speed into left center. Almost intercepted and cut it off, but not quite. And the ball went all the way back to the left center field wall, marked 457 feet away. Keller takes a low pitch, and it is ball two. It is 4-2, favor the Yankees. The infield up. Keller digging in. 0 for 3 today. Strong southpaw swinger. Johnson, the rookie, who stands as a big man for the Yankees, leads off third. Keller takes the pitch inside under the hands for ball 3. 3-0. The pitch. Low for ball 4, and Keller walks. Runners at first and second. First and third. Keller at first. Johnson, who just tripled with 3 men on, is at third. And the huge crowd of nearly 70,000 has been roaring constantly. There's Billy Southworth going out to the mound, and Brazle is coming out of the ball game. Walker Cooper out there talking to his manager and to the left-hander who made such a plucky and game job of it until the Yankees, plus a series of errors, conspired to confound him. I think that is the analysis of the situation. I know, and I'm sitting here with a great deal of eagerness, no matter which way this game jumps, to hear what Bill Cora is going to have to say as soon as the last out's made. The Cardinals are reaching into the bullpen. They've had down there today Howard Krist and Maury Dixon, right-handers, and Harry Brecheen, a left-hander. And coming in out of the bullpen, it is... At the moment, it's the right-hander. It may be Krist. Let's hold the phone. So you can't see who's working in the bullpens at Yankee Stadium. As they're in runways, the Yankees in back of left field, and the Cardinals in back of right field. I think it'll be Krist. At the moment, we'll see. Howard Krist, I believe it is. And now there's Brazle getting a hand as he leaves the mound. Howard Krist on the mound, who has been fabulously successful as a relief pitcher the last few years. That is the official announcement. Krist, number 29, now pitching for St. Louis. Krist is throwing down a few warm-up pitches. It is 4-2, favor the Yankees. They have runners at first and third, and we have time to pause quickly for station identification. This is Mutual.
WGN, the voice of the people, Chicago.
Howard Krist, tall right-hander, good curveball. Indicates he's ready now. He's thrown enough to get the feel of the mound. So here's the situation. The Yankees came to bat in the last half of the 8th inning behind 2-1. They've now gotten 3 runs. Single by Lindell with an error, which allowed for the extra base. Then came the sacrifice play. Here's Joe Gordon looking at the first pitch low. Sanders threw Sternweiss's bunt to third in plenty of time, but Kurowski had the ball jarred out of his hands by the impact of a furious slide by Lindell. And then after Steinbeck's fly ball, a delivered walk to load the bases, and Johnson's triple to left center. Krist, tall, very cool, right-handed, in position, checks his runners, and delivers. There's a curve swung on and hit in the left field. Another base hit. There is Johnston coming in to score, and Keller holds at second base. And Joe Gordon comes up with his 3rd hit of the series, his first today, rifling a line drive into left field through the hole between third and short. Solid single that gives Joe a run batted in, and it brings in Bill Johnson. Charlie Keller moves down to second base, and this 5th Yankee run is charged to Brazle. And it will be marked as earned. And now Southworth goes out to the mound to talk to Krist. Catcher Cooper's walking out there to be with him. And Billy may change. He is going to change. He's going to come on with a left-hander. He fits to Bill Dickey and Nick Etten. And Krist, the right-hander, who was brought on to pitch to this one right-hand hitter, Gordon, and Joe belted him for a line-drive base hit. Is out of there. And the left-hander in the bullpen will be Harry Brecheen. At least we were informed before the game by Southworth himself that Brecheen would be in the bullpen. And Billy just moved with his left hand in the direction of the bullpen, looking for the left-hander. And it is the Cat, Harry Brecheen, Brachenn. Brecheen, if you'll recall, came on to relieve in the first game. He pitched one inning when he followed Lanier, gave up one hit, one walk, but allowed no runs and struck out one. He's making the long walk in from behind right field and the bullpen. The Cardinal bat boy is running out to meet him halfway and to relieve him of his jacket. Brecheen walking on toward the mound. Southworth waiting. Krist, too. Krist is waiting there to wish him well. So Howard Krist after pitching to one batter. Joe Gordon, who hit a 3-1 pitch for a solid single. Drove in a run. Put the Yankees ahead 5-2. Krist is coming out, pitching to one batter. Brecheen on the mound. The announcer will be coming up in just a moment. Walker Cooper, of course, will tell the plate umpire, Joe Rowe. Joe Rowe will notify with a wave of the hand the announcer as he's just done. That's the announcement you just heard. And now Harry will throw a few pitches out there. Now I want to switch over to Bob Elson, get his observations about the way things have suddenly happened here in the eighth inning. Bob, how have you seen it?
Well, Red, it was very unexpected the way this little left-hander, Brazle, was going along to all of a sudden when he just had another inning to go, and it seemed like he was a cinch winner of the third game of the World Series to have the bottom drop out of things. It was just a case of, in the inning, of loose defensive play as put on by the Cardinals in the number 1 game that got Lanier into jams, that got Brazle into jams here in the 8th. The Yankees now are in a very good spot to go on and take this number 3 game of the World Series, and it will give them a big advantage. Of course, the Cardinals have one more chance, that is in the first half of the 9th, to try to get back into the ball game, and we don't know as yet just who is going to come in. Although it's very likely, I think Red will agree with me, that it will probably be Fireman Murphy, who is the ace right-hand relief star of the Yankee team and one of the great relief pitchers of baseball who will come in. All right, Red, here's Bill Dickey up in there and take over.
Righto, Bob. Brecheen ready to go for his second appearance. He pitched 1 inning in game 1. Bill Dickey, who has 1 for 3 this afternoon, steps in. On the field, the Yankees have runners at first and second. They have hammered home 4 runs here in the last of the 8th, and they lead 5-2. Still 1 man out. Outfield toward right. Dickey crouches. Brecheen left-hands the pitch. It's high, a fastball. Ball 1. Brecheen looks into the ground for the moment. He works very deliberately. He is pitching from the third base end of pitcher's slab. Looks back at second. He's in position. Delivers. Fastball is low. 4-2. 2-0. Brecheen blows on the fingers of his pitching hand. Now goes for the rosin bag. Turns his back on Dickey. Just rubbing up that ball with both bare hands. His glove stuffed up under one arm. Guy turns around. Walker Cooper all the while has been in his catcher's crouch. Now gives the sign. Brecheen down, set, throws. Dickey swings. There is a ball that hits Gordon, and Gordon is automatically out. Dickey is automatically on first base, automatically credited with a single, and the runners are frozen, which means that Keller has to go back to second base. That is an automatic play. Runner hit by a batted ball in fair territory. Joe Gordon was hit in the legs as Dickey's pistol shot bid for a base hit was driven toward the hole between first and second and right field. So you give Dickey a single off the runner. It's a play that doesn't happen too frequently, but on occasion it does. To be automatically scored, a single for Dickey. Joe Gordon is automatically out. The nearest infielder to the play, in this case would be the first baseman, is credited with a put-out. No assist, of course. Runners at first and second. Dickey at first. Keller was frozen at second, and here's Etten, 2 down. Nick takes a curve that is good for a called strike. Gordon was out. Hit by the batted ball. Put out goes to the first baseman. Brecheen works.
Fastball is low. 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. In other words, when a runner's hit by a batted ball, the other runners on can only advance just enough to make room for the batter. In this case, of course, Gordon was off first, so Dickey took first, and Keller held at second. Etten swings and hits one into right field. His first series hit. Around third base comes Keller. Here is Musial throw. Keller scores, sliding, and down to third base, and in thrown out is Dickey. Dickey is thrown out at third. Musial's throw came to the plate. Walker Cooper made the tag, but was unable to prevent the scoring of Keller from second base on Etten's single. But Dickey was cut down as the catcher threw to Karowski at third. So the Yankees batted around. 9 men hit. You give Etten his first World Series safety, a single into right field and a run batted in. And that run is charged also to Brazle, which makes it now 6-2. The hit is charged to Brecheen, and let's rank it up now. Dickey was out at third base trying to stretch. The right fielder to the catcher to the third baseman, but Keller scored. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 runs for the Yankees, of which 3 are to be scored as earned. 5 runs in, last of the 8th inning. And in the way of hits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see that, Bob? Okay, 5 and 5. There were 1, 2 errors. 1 man left. That would be Etten. And friends, to see this third game of the World Series, a new attendance record has just been announced as being set. 69,990. Just 10 short of a flat 70,000. That's the paid attendance today. The old record was set in the 4th game of the World Series last year, 69,902. So a new record by 82 cash customers. The total receipts today, $269,368. Well, we've had some great crowds, 69,990 today. Yesterday, 68,676. No, yesterday was 68,578, and the opening game was 68,676. You don't think those are a lot of people? Try and fry that much fish. Johnny Murphy, the fireman of the Yankees. Coming on for his second relief stint. He pitched the last inning yesterday behind Bonham. 5 no runs, 1 hit, 1 walk. Johnny Murphy, one of the relief specialists in the entire history of the game. He's an expert, and this is his specialty, finishing them up. O'Day will pinch hit. So the two Fordham boys are following each other. Roy went the first 8. All these runs, of course, belong to him. The Yankees lead 6-2. 5-run innings. Pinch hitter O'Day up. And takes a pitch high outside. He's batting for Karowski. For several reasons, Karowski was very severely jarred in the last half of the 8th inning. He's not feeling too pert. And also, Karowski, a right-hand hitter, gives way to O'Day, a very good left-hand batter. First, of course, as you know, is a right-hander. O'Day takes a called strike, 1-1. O'Day has been in several series for this one. The pitch swung on and missed. Strike 2, 1-2. Johnny Murphy out on the mound. The Cardinals, after leading by 2 runs, by 1 run, now come in for the 9th inning and find themselves behind by 4. The Yankees a 5-run 8th inning. O'Day swings and hits a high pop fly that second baseman Gordon is camped under. He has it. 1 up and 1 gone. Put out to the second baseman. Murphy moving around out there on the mound, just as though he was getting ready to go to a picnic or something. Willis Southwest still talking it up behind third. Sanders stepping in. The pitch is high inside, kicks off of Dickey's mitt, and caroms off the side, the right side, of the mask of the plate umpire on back to the stand. It's just ball 1. Murphy looks down, takes the sign. Big strapping right-hander pitches.
Over the outside for a call strike. 1-1. Sanders has 3 hits for 9 official at bat. Score is 6-2. Favor the Yankees. There's a high foul into the stands, upper stands, back to third base. 1-2. New ball in play. Sanders, nobly close stand. Was that stick by the end? Ball slender. Murphy works. Inside, under the hands for ball 2. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 man out. Top of the 9th inning. The last game for the stadium. Then the series moves to St. Louis. Sanders swinging hits a high foul ball. It goes into the stands past left field. The series resumes. First game in St. Louis is Sunday. We'll be on the air, friends, 1 hour later than we have been coming on for the 3 games here in the East. We'll be on the air at 2:15 Sunday afternoon Eastern Wartime, which of course will be 1:15 Central Wartime. Murphy delivers, and it's high for ball 3, and the count runs full. Cardinals are still alive. They still have a chance. The Yankees know it. Murphy working very quietly, very efficiently, in no hurry. Dickey gives the sign. There's the 3-2 pitch coming down. Sanders crouches, swings, and there's a high fly ball deep in the right center. There's Lindell, the right fielder, under it. And he has it for out number 2. Two up, 2 down. Top of the 9th. And Danny Litwhiler singled his first 2 times up. He's 2 for 3. Litwhiler stepping in. Well, which way will the catch up? Murphy throws a sidearm fastball in there for a call strike. He's been pitching overhand. Blue Bevan from by way of third base. Big fella works. Sidearm curve that breaks outside. Ball 1. 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 down, nobody on. Cardinals trailing by 4. The Yankees lead 6-2. Swing and a miss for strike 2. That was a tight one right off the hand. Dickey gives the sign. Crouches back at the plate, sets his mitt as a target. Murphy delivers. Hit just outside for ball 2. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 down. Murphy ready. Big fella delivers. Foul back. 2-2. It was a tight, tough ball game, battling along, 0-0. 2-0. 2-1, and suddenly, boom. 5 over there in the last of the 8th inning, and it's cracked it wide open. 6-2, New York. Cardinals down to the last strike of their last out. The pitch, low for ball 3. Faster. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Litwhiler sets. Crouches, bends at the knees. 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. And Dickey stuffs the ball in his pocket and goes jogging into the Yankee dugout. The huge crowd, the largest crowd ever to see a World Series ball game. Just 10 souls shy of 70,000 now go streaming for the many exit gates here at Yankee Stadium. And the curtain is down on Yankee Stadium for baseball for 1943. The series moves west to St. Louis. The Yankees win this one 6-2, and now take a 1-game edge, 2 games to 1. And don't leave us yet, fans, because you don't want to miss hearing from Missouri Bill Corum and his highlights of this ball game, and he's going to be at this microphone in less than 1 minute. I don't expect you fans to grab a train for Boston or Montreal the minute I finish telling you this, but just the same, you would get a great kick if you could visit the Gillette factories there. Then you could see the amazing machines and precision instruments Gillette technicians have built for the manufacture and testing of the Gillette Blue Blade. Huge electric furnaces that temper the steel to glass-cutting hardness. Great finishing machines adjusted to microscopic accuracy that grind the blades in filtered oil, pound them with abrasives fine as cake flour, slap the edges to a mirror finish, and do all this in one continuous operation. So on from floor to floor. Exclusive equipment that has taken years of time, millions of dollars to build. Do you wonder, fans, that no other blade in the world is as sharp, as easy shaving, as long-lasting as today's vastly superior Gillette Blue Blades? And now, this is the old redhead making a quick flip over to Bill Cora.
Right, Red. The total, 6-8-0 for the Yankees, 6 runs, 8 hits, and no errors. And for the Cardinals, 2 runs, 6 hits, and 4 errors. As Red said, it was the greatest crowd ever to see a World Series, but not the most money by a mere matter of $40. $269,368 were paid in here today, but in the 4th game of the World Series last year, it was $269,408, but we won't quibble over that. That hit of Bill Johnston's, a Montclair, New Jersey boy, a freshman up here, and a great ball player, a very steady one in this series, that broke it up for the Yankees, must have been sweet music to Cousin Ed Barra, president of the club, too sick to be here today. Because if the Cardinals had gone back to their home park, I know Ed is smart enough baseball man to know that if they had gone back there with a 2-game lead, they would have been in the driver's seat as far as the series go. Although the Cardinals took their usual lead, getting 2 runs in the 4th inning, almost no balls were hit solidly off of him. He did give up 6 hits, as against the 5 that were made off Brazle. And, by the way, 2 of the Yankee runs that were made off Brazle, they only made 4 off of him, were unearned. He very definitely should not have been scored on until that 8th inning. Of course, the last run was earned, but it wasn't made from his pitching. That coming off Spud Krist, and Krist was later relieved by Brecheen, or Brecheen, however he pronounces it. It's a little difficult for me because I've been calling him Brecheen all season, but I believe Brecheen is correct. There's little to say about what's going to happen in St. Louis. That's quite a long way off, and it still looks to me like a series that might well go 7 games, and almost surely I think will go 6. The teams are still evenly matched, although this is the first time in 4 games that anybody has broken through and one going away, as the Yankees won here this afternoon. They can turn on that power, the Yanks can, and they're hard to beat. As we know from all down the years, in recent years at least, they're a mighty, mighty tough ball club, and they never give up. And when they do get to you, they pile on the runs a little bit stronger, I think, than the Cardinals. Now, fans, we'll have some more of the same in St. Louis Sunday afternoon. There'll be no game tomorrow or Saturday. But at 2:15 Eastern Wartime Sunday, we'll be back on the air from Sportsman's Park. So, until 2:15 Eastern Wartime Sunday afternoon, smooth sailing, smooth shaving, and good afternoon from your hosts, the Gillette Safety Razor Company, Bob Elson, Red Barber, and Bill Coral. This is Mutual.
This is WGN, the voice of the people.